All right. How y'all doing today? Today, we're going to be doing a light cleaning of the ink stack, print head, and also the ink waste pad for the gallery DTF single head printer. First step is to remove the lid. It's very easy. It's two little pins. There's one. Second. Pull them gently. You have to twist it a little bit, but it'll come right out. Move it, set it to the side. That's the ink stack. Pretty dirty. These are supplies that I've used. DTF cleaning solution, syringe, screwdriver, and lint-free rags. That's the print head, 3 screws. One, third one is in the front. You'll be able to see it after you remove the ink cartridges. I recommend putting the ink cartridges in a Ziploc bag, minimize your mess. This is the ink weight pad, what I call it. Because what it does is collects the wasted ink during the cleaning process. There's 2 screws to remove that. Very easy as well. Going to get into it. Move those 2 screws. Give it a little twist. Right out. Now I'll take that over to the garbage. Push a little bit of that out into the garbage ink. I'm pointing at the little rail that the ink waste pad sits on. Take it over here to the sink. Put on the hot water. Let it sit for like a couple of minutes just to help break the ink up. And I recommend using gloves because it is ink and it would dye fingers. But it usually breaks up real easy with hot water. You can add a little detergent, help clean it up a little bit, but hot water usually does it. You can also contact Gallery and purchase a new one. But for me, rinsing it out works pretty well. I recommend doing this type of cleaning whenever that ink pad gets full. And we just put it back. And now we'll move to the print head itself. Now, in the beginning of this video, you heard me call a light cleaning because there is also a deep cleaning. Um, I would only suggest doing a deep cleaning only if ink is not printing on your DTF paper clearly or in blotches or spots. But I don't have any of those problems because I have not had any problems with this gallery printer. but I have a dual head printer that I have to do a lot of maintenance on, and sometimes that requires a deep cleaning. This is called a light cleaning. Uh, I'll show you once I get these screws out, but it's really not much to it. And it's just what I call it. You can call it whatever you want. Now you see me using two different screwdrivers. That's only because the little one has a really strong magnetic tip on it. The other one does not. But if you got one with a really strong magnetic tip, you should be good with just one. And it's because I don't want to drop those little bitty screws because I have big hands and it's hard to get them out of certain spots that fall in. Once again, you may have to do this once, maybe two times a year, depending upon how much you're printing and how long that the printer sits without printing. We do a lot of traveling, so sometimes it sits for maybe a week without any printing, but it still does its cleaning itself. That's what makes it great. Now, this is the print head itself. You see all that ink around it. I usually take a medium microfiber rag that's dry and just pull that dry ink off of it. I found out that using a wet rag in the beginning kind of spreads the ink, and you really don't want that. But a dry one, it kind of like absorbs, so it doesn't make it really, really messy. You can do it however though. Now just taking it, just rubbing it off. You can see it wasn't hard at all. That's my medium grade microfiber rag. Please use a lint-free rag because that can cause a whole bunch of different other problems. Then I'll take my little Q-tip with my DTF cleaner on it. Do not use alcohol. Use DTF cleaner only. Alcohol leaves behind a residue. Now this is my super soft microfiber rag, or final rag is what I call it. I just give it a little buff off. This is the print head base where it sits at. You definitely have to wipe that off, or the whole process that you just did is meaningless. It's not hard. It takes minutes to wipe that off, but it is a must. Or you just sit in your clean print head right back in the same wasted ink. Before I put it back in, you don't have to, but I recommend wiping off these little ports. They are the print head injection ports. I wish I would have showed you, but I have a little cup that I'm dipping that inside the Q-tip with some DTF cleaner, and I'm just taking another rag and squeezing it out, which pushes out the ink in the Q-tip. But you can use a different Q-tip for each and every color. And you can see I got a lot of dye on that Q-tip, and that's because I've used it on the different colors and then let it dry, washed it out, and I reused it again. And that's only because the new ones seem not to be able to absorb it as much, the ink. And once it's used, it kind of gets fluffy and it kind of helps get in little certain spots that the stiff one can't. But you have to be careful because they do deteriorate and tear and stuff. You don't want any of those fragments in those ports. The main ones to clean are the white ports because they have that sediment that can harden up. Usually don't have any trouble out of the color ones. They don't have that sediment in it. This process can take anywhere from 3 to 8 minutes, depending upon how much is on there. But it comes off pretty easy once it gets a little wet. See, and they're pretty clean there. And you just put that. Now we're moving on to the cartridges itself. On the bottom of them, where it sits on to those injectors, you get a little bit of residue, ink residue on them. So you want. Right now, I'm just showing you the diagram of where they actually go. And this is the bottom of the white. Once again, the white ones are the most important ones to keep clean, but they're very easy to clean. Right here, I'm showing you where they have air in them, and there's two ways to do it. One is put them back and let the machine prime itself. It'll fill them up. But since I already have them out and I know how to do it, I take a syringe and just prime them manually. Once again, you can use the primer button on the side of this machine, and it will actually prime those automatically. And there you go. You can do that same process on all of them, but once again, my concerns is only really with the white ones. Wipe off the bottoms of all of them. As you can see all that ink and it's not going to go anywhere but harden up. And that's it. And you see, I got ink on there from my hands when I'm wiping them off. Make sure you get that off. Probably from last time. But that's pretty much it. Slide that to the side. That comes from when we was cleaning the inside of the jets and it dripped out of the print head. No big deal. Just take a rag and wipe it up. Now we're moving over to the ink stack itself. This part is probably the dirtiest part because the print head spends probably 95 to 99% of its time sitting here when not in use. And by being a self cleaning unit, the ink is always moving. Just take a Q tip, move a lot of that ink. This process can involve using two of them to use like chopsticks, just pulling some of that hard ink off, like right there. Then you have to take your finger and just pull some of it out. Now, this process can take anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. Depends on how bad you let it get. Now, if you keep up on it, you can have it done in anywhere from 3 minutes to 5 minutes. But that would mean probably doing it once every month. And that's clean. This one took me about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. That took about 5, 10 minutes. And that took about 10 to 15 minutes. And that's it. Everything cleaned up. Turn it on. Let it run through its steps. Then run a regular print head cleaning. And it should be good to go. I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Appreciate your time. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to know how to do a deep head clean, let me know.